The UN Environment Head Erik Solheim has praised Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying he is a key world leader on climate issues who took the initiative to promote solar energy. Well, let's take a listen in.
You mentioned about technologies. Now, one problem which India in particular faces, given its size and population, is accessibility and affordability. Now, what can India and the UN environment do together to make those technologies become available to the Indian masses easily and affordably?
That is the central question, because when people in the past invested heavily in coal, it was not because they thought coal was good for our health or good for the environment. They understood that this was harmful both to health and environment, but it was the cheapest energy source. But now everywhere in the world, solar has come down to a price which can compete with coal, in many cases even cheaper than coal. And that, of course, makes the trick, because solar is much better for our health, much better to avoid pollution, much better for the environment, much better for animals, for plants. But when added, it's also cheaper, because the future of the world is renewable, no doubt. And again, China and India is leading this charge of the world.
And Prime Minister Modi has set a very ambitious target of achieving solar or harvesting or harnessing solar energy. He's also spoken about Ganga rejuvenation program. When you look at, on balance, when you look at the government's policies, you think India is doing enough or appreciably in the last, say, few years to tackle these issues?
Well, my role is not to tell any government that they're doing enough. I'm telling every government that they need to do more. But I need to also be fair, and in all fairness, China and India are now leaders in the green shift which we are seeing in the world. But say cleaning up Ganga River is a huge task. This is one of the most heavily polluted rivers in the world, while one of the most holy, one of the most essential is feeding, of course, in different ways, hundreds of millions of people. It's the holy river of Varanasi and so many other, Allahabad, so many other places. So it needs to be cleaned up. Here, China has shown the way, so while it may not always be popular in India to learn from China, let me make the modest proposition that please look into what the Chinese have done, because they have cleaned up some of the most dirty rivers in the world. In the central province of Zhejiang, they had in the past what they called milky rivers, not because they tasted like milk, but because they were white of pollution. Now they clean them up, and with enormous benefit for health, for the environment, and for tourism. So they get, overall, it's an income generation thing. You get any number of new tourists coming, providing for any number of new jobs. So it's an overall win.